Hi there, and you're watching Dukascopy TV. I'm Darren McDermott. Krisken Management provides financial management services to professional athletes. I have the CEO of this company in our studio today, Christopher Hill. Welcome, Christopher.
Thank you very much for having me.
So you help professional athletes with their finances. Now, why did you decide to set up this company? Did you think there was a gap in the market in Switzerland that needed to be filled?
Actually, there's a gap across the entire globe. The idea originated in the United States when I was working for Credit Suisse in San Francisco. There was a gap because many of the athletes go from college to the professional leagues and have no way of managing going from $500 a month to $50,000, $100,000 a month. So I said, let me help them prepare for their career and to save so that at the end of their career, they have a nest egg.
And some athletes get multi-million-dollar contracts. Now, we do see bankruptcy as a big problem, so why is this?
Several reasons. The first reason is when you go from nothing overnight to winning the lottery, the statistics tells you that very few people are prepared to manage that wealth because it's not earned in a consistent manner. So many of them believe that now they have this money, that they're invincible and they can do no wrong. And they start to look at ideas and invest in ideas based on dreams.
Okay. And
they don't do the due diligence, and then you can make 126 million in your career and end up bankrupt.
Okay, that is quite sad. But if we're looking kind of comparing wealth management to other types, how does wealth management for sports people compare to just general?
Well, wealth management for professional athletes, it's much more than that. Wealth management in a bank is not profitable unless you have clients who will just entrust you with their portfolio management, but that's not the case today. Wealth management is 25% of running the business for athletes. So it's a family office. It's gone from wealth management to a family office business where you take care of everything that the bank cannot do, the agent cannot do. A little bit like IMG, but just the financial side. The whole complexity is to say, how do I get somebody at this age and educate them along the lines so that they're independent with their money when they retire.
And then, of course, you know, in terms of changes we're going to be seeing, there's a lot of regulations happening in terms of the financial sector. Now, looking at taxes and so on, how is this going to have an impact on this type of market?
Very good question. In the past, there has always been the desire by these young athletes and their agents to find a way not to pay taxes, okay, to the point where they wrote into the contract, I get a net amount. Unfortunately, when you're an employee of a club, you do get a net amount, but you have taxes withheld. That notion never was fully explained to the athlete. Going forward, you're going to have much more transparency on the global package that the athlete is earning, and he will be given more and more documentation, tax certificates, as he progresses from one team to the other. There's no more this opaque wall around money.
And Christopher, if we're looking at wealth management for athletes in Switzerland and in Europe in general, in comparison to the States, Asia and so on, how, you know, what are the differences?
I think there are many differences. It's location, first and foremost, and it's security. North America is probably the most developed sport and entertainment market in the world, and there are a lot of services that can be provided to these athletes. Europe, not yet. Mm-hmm. So Asia, not yet because they don't have it. India will start to develop because of cricket. What athletes are going to be looking at is how can they earn their money moving from one team to another, one location to another, and minimizing their taxes. They'll become more aware of their taxable income. That's going to be the big game changer. And the company or the wealth management or the family office who addresses that directly with them and plans with them is going to be successful. The one who uses weird structures will have problems because the whole legal and framework and fiscal framework is going to change with time.
Okay, Christopher, just one last question before we wrap up now. Where do you see the future of wealth management for athletes?
Well, I believe they're going to be centers. So coming back to your previous question, I think Switzerland has something to offer despite what's going on. I think the United States, I think England, I think certain parts of Asia. It's going to be much more of a custody-driven business, not a banking business. So you will have centers of excellence for athletes around the world, something what we did for Merrill Lynch about 20 years ago. And I believe that global custody, like a pension fund, is the future for wealth management and athletes.
Christopher, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Dúchascopi TV today. Now, coming up later on the show, we will be discussing sustainability as we will have the CEO of Earthmind in the studio. But for now, goodbye.